watching Morning at NTV.
Welcome back. We're glad you're still with us. Now, the Uganda Electoral Commission is due to launch its strategic plan for the year 2022, 2023, 2026, 2027 and a 2025-2026 roadmap for the general election. That launch is due round about now at Africana, Hotel Africana, that is, and our very own Stephen Mbide is standing by to speak to the spokesperson of the Electoral Commission on what the strategic plan entails, but also what it means for 2026 and whoever is preparing to go into the battlefield as we have come to know it, the politics of the country. I can see the stage is set, and of course delegates have begun appearing and readying themselves for what is being described there as the national launch, the Electoral Commission strategic plan for 2022, 2023, 2026, 2027 and the roadmap for 2025, 2026 general elections. Stephen Mbide, very good morning. Take it away.
Yes, good morning to you, Chris. You know, this is indeed a very big day for those who are politicians, the security, stakeholders like the civil society, and whoever is intending to contest in the 2022, 2023, any of the elections that could be happening, or even 2026 elections. That's why we are here to speak to Mr. Bob Kenya. The national launch is on today. This is a big day for whoever is interested in national political and governance affairs of this country.
Sure. Today is the day when we'll share the plan and the roadmap over what will happen over the next 3 years leading to general elections in 2025, 2026. So it's a big day.
What exactly is going to happen here? Because we know you've invited the security officers, the members of parliament, political actors, and of course government officials. What is exactly going to be happening here?
So what's going to happen today is that we are going to unveil the strategic plan for the next 5 years as part of, following the National Development Program structure for government agencies to align their planning to that structure which is now in place in Uganda. But besides that, out of the five-year strategic plan, we have 3 critical years which are called the roadmap years, over which we conduct various activities leading to general elections. Why? Because we cannot have general election activities conducted in one financial year. First of all, the budget is big, and we fund it in a phased manner. So today what we are going to unveil is the bigger strategic plan, and then also unveil the detailed roadmap. What are we going to do between now and February, March 2026, up to 12th of May, when the term of office expires? Because we know in Uganda, our governance, the 5 years, it is predictable. We are going to have elections in February and January 2026. So from the time of 12th May, when the term of office expires, we've drawn a map backwards, and we've shown what's going to happen between now and the 12th of May. Even
before we even talk about 2026, we even have the pending LC1 elections, which should be due in the next 6 months.
Definitely. LC1 elections are not part of general elections. They're called administrative units elections. They have a different law governing them.
Conduct them.
But we will definitely, that does not stop the other constitutional timelines of 5 years from going on. So we are going to be highlighting what we're going to do over the next 5 years, but particularly the 3 years which are critical in the electoral calendar. So aspiring candidates, political parties, civil society, government itself, they need to know, and then they start planning for funding. Yeah.
Does it also concern you as the Electoral Commission that we are planning this before even you see the electoral reforms? There have been calls for electoral reforms. Government hasn't yet tabled them. Does it also concern you? Because out there, the public still waits to see what should be part of these electoral reforms.
Of course, part of the roadmap is a period during which we encourage electoral reforms to be, enacted. So there is a time, there's still time for electoral reforms to be discussed and laws to be amended, or even new ones to come in, or even things to be taken out of electoral laws. So there's still time. In the roadmap, we show the desired period within which reforms should be conducted. And then we also indicate that beyond this time, it becomes difficult to amend electoral laws because we will not have time for planning for funding, voter education, and it may become complicated in implementing them because it may change so many things. So the roadmap is clear. It shows you when you should do. For example, the media wants to propose some changes in electoral laws. When should you do that? And that is indicated in the roadmap. The timelines are indicated. And beyond a certain timeline, it becomes difficult. You will stampede the processes. It will be hard to effect. It will be hard to sensitize the stakeholders, and the law may not come into force.
Let me take you back. From 2016, the Supreme Court made some pronouncements on what should be done for better management and organization of elections. But you, coming from 2021 elections, what lessons do you pick from, I know even up to now, we still see violence in our elections. We've seen them in the by-elections that we had. As the Electoral Commission, what did you pick from 2021 that you think you can build on as we move to 2026?
Yeah, of course, every election has lessons that it gives us because we are the ones who organize and conduct the elections. And so we are part of the stakeholders. Of course, we are the lead in this because we organize and conduct elections. But when it comes to reforms, we propose electoral reforms as well as electoral commission. But we also implement what we call administrative reforms, things which are within our powers. Of course, we don't make laws. What we do is to forward and support amendments of certain parts of the law. Then that becomes the work of Parliament. We have learned so many lessons, which is what informs the strategic plan that we are going to share today, and I don't want to go into that because it's going to be explained. What have we learned? What do we want to do differently? Are there new things that are going to come? And that's what awaits us today, because this morning is going to be unveiled, and we will be discussing and presenting some of the areas that we want to do differently.
Let's talk about also voter apathy, mobilization coming from what we've seen before, but also looking at the numbers, the figures. We understand that this time around you are planning to have a over 1.3 trillion budget for the roadmap from now up to 2027. Isn't this too high? Because some people are saying this is too wasteful for a country that is struggling economically.
In the plan that's going to be unveiled today, there's going to be a breakdown of what will be done over the next 3 financial years. And, of course, justification for the figures, a breakdown for the figures and justification. But, of course, we've also indicated in the plan the cost drivers. Why is the cost of the election going high? It's because certain aspects of the management process, electoral management and administration, have also changed. So we can't have the same figures we had last year time. The population has increased, the number of polling stations, the projection according to UBOS, because we rely on projections and, from Uganda Bureau of Statistics. So our estimates are informed by realities, both economic, political, social, and all that, that there could be more administrative units, maybe more districts coming in. So we use that to project. We do a percentage increase on every aspect, and then we plan accordingly. It's very good to plan. Otherwise, you would be surprised when the reality hits you and you didn't plan for such situations.
As you're planning, but we know that you're also dealing with a population that we've seen from even all by-elections we've seen. There is voter apathy, and you as managers of our electoral processes, we know that also some NGOs, which you are civil society, which we are trying to call rally people to participate in electoral processes, like SEDU and Ronga existing. How are you going to deal with this as you plan and move ahead?
Part of what we are doing today is to set every stakeholder and every actor in motion. So we are going to engage the stakeholders to be taking up certain responsibilities that they do have. We still have civil society organizations that are focused on governance, that still want to support voter and civic education. So what we are going to do is to share the timelines and roadmap so that they start acting and putting where a civil society organization needs to put itself in order, or to do, you know, we're talking about CBOs and NGOs and CSOs. What are they supposed to do to be able to participate in these processes? But we also have a communication plan. We're saying that what have we identified in the past elections? How do we address the challenges, including voter apathy? What about a youthful population? What about all these other issues that you mentioned? We are mindful of them. Why? Because we organize these elections. So when there are issues that emerge, we take note of them and we seek to address them. Yeah.
And finally, for you as the Electoral Commission that is supposed to have organized regular, free and fair elections periodic every time, what is that big thing that you think, away from the finances, you think is challenging you in executing and fulfilling your mandate?
I think stakeholders appreciating the reality of elections. Elections, how to participate, how to accept laws, how to accept,
those politician actors, some of them feel that you are not independent enough.
Well, we have perception issues around. Ours is a growing electoral democracy, so we think that we are progressing with every election, but there are some challenges that remain. Part of this effort is to seek a stakeholder support on how to address them. We need to do this together. It can't be Electoral Commission alone.
Thank you so much, Paul Bukenya, the spokesperson of the Electoral Commission. He's also going to be the one in charge as the master of ceremony for the event here at Hotel Africana. Stephen Imbido and Professor Chibuga handing you back to studio because we shall give you much more of what's happening here in our subsequent bulletins. Keep it here on Morning at NTV.